Do you have what it takes? The mental skills that will help you make or break it as an entrepreneur? That's what we're going to be diving into today. My name is Stephanie Parisi, and I love helping small business owners grow their influence and their profits online using marketing strategies that actually work. And I'm also the leader of the Parisi Pack, a marketing membership for entrepreneurs and story insiders, where you can learn how to create stories that sell. Now, let's dive into this because everyone always says that mindset is so important when it comes to business. But what do they mean by that? And what mental skills will really help you take it up a notch in your business? What's up first? Motivation. Now, motivation, you might think, hey, that's kind of overrated. But the importance of motivation is fairly obvious. The business owner that is more motivated will actually sit down and get their work done. Now, I think there are some tricks to the trade. So check out this video if you want to know some of mine when it comes to being motivated. But those who are more motivated will work harder than those who aren't and end up achieving their goals. That said, not all types of motivation are created equal. There's intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. And studies show that intrinsic motivation is more powerful than extrinsic motivation. So what are we talking about here? So extrinsic motivation could be things like, oh, okay, if you hit this sales goal, you're going to win a trip to X and Y amazing location. Or intrinsic motivation is the sense of self-satisfaction of a job well done, of that inner goal or desire, versus extrinsic motivation is typically more an object, a thing. Now, neither are bad. It's important to identify for you what really motivates you when it comes to a job well done and being motivated to do it. The next mental skill that's going to help you make it or break it as an entrepreneur is confidence. When you look at long distance athletes, those who believe and say, hey, it's possible for me to do this, versus those who simply say, I don't think I could ever do that. It all starts in the mind, and it all starts with you believing, can you actually achieve what you want to achieve? Do you even think it's possible? So I would ask you, do you think it's possible for you to establish a business where you're making over $10,000 a month, where you're making over $20,000 a month? Do you even believe it's possible? Now, those are some monetary goals, and these can be any type of goals you put before yourself. But the first and foremost thing that you need to start asking yourself is, do I believe this is possible? Because you go from what ifs to then hows. So what if I could do this? What if I could do that? And the more you start believing your what ifs, then you transfer into the, okay, how do I do this? And that's an important switch to make, because once you go to the how, if everything is figure outable, which is one of my favorite mantras in business, if everything is figure outable, then I can figure out the how to make this happen. It's not a, is it possible? It is a, how is it possible? The next mental skill that you really need in business as an entrepreneur is the ability to be resilient, or resilience. When things go wrong, are you going to stick it out? Because things will inevitably at some point go wrong, or you'll have setbacks, or it's going to be hard. And the idea with the resilience is that you keep pushing on. Again, I love the example of exercise and fitness when it comes to being resilient, because when you are lifting the weight, and you're on rep number 12 and you need to do 15 and your legs are burning and you're like, this is so hard. The idea that you push through and you keep going, even when it's hard, you can apply that same mentality to business, because you are going to have some downs through the journey. And it's the resilience to keep on going and keep on pressing on that is a skill set that you can learn and develop and use to make it as an entrepreneur. These are 3 fundamental mental skills that I believe you truly need to have as an entrepreneur to make it or break it. Now let's dive into some self-regulating skills that are really going to make a huge difference when it comes to your business. Self-awareness. To manage your stress, regulate emotion, and focus your attention, you first simply need to be able to identify what your current psychological state is and what it needs to be when you're in the zone, right? Hopefully you can identify within your own self, there are peak times. I know for a fact that there's times when I get into content creation mode and I can whip out 20 posts in an hour because I'm in the zone. I'm in the mental space to create. Same with YouTube videos. The same thing happens for me where I can just knock them out and do a great job at it because I notice when I'm in the psychological state that allows me to function and perform very well. So my question for you is, are you self-aware of your mental state? Can you identify, wow, my mood is here or my mood is here, and to perform well, it needs to be here? Because first and foremost, before you ever know how to get your mood there, you need to know what your mood is. So I would say the skill to be self-aware is absolutely imperative as an entrepreneur. Knowing truly is half the battle. Next, what about stress management? How do you handle stress? Because running a business at times will be stressful, whether you're doing a launch or you're helping clients solve their problems, or of course, the tech. At some point, you're going to have stress. How do you manage it? Now, while there may be some things that you can do to mitigate and lessen that stress, be it, say with video editing, well, you hire a video editor, so you're not the one doing some of the tech. So there are some ways to lessen the stress. At the same point in time, what we're really talking about here is how to mitigate and manage the inevitable stress that is going to come. Do you view the butterflies in your stomach before you push that go live button as a sign that you're scared or a sign that you're excited? And how do you fuel that into what you're about to do? You are in the driver's seat. You actually have control and can regulate and aim these feelings and emotions that you go through. And that brings us to emotional and arousal regulation. Now, that is a mouthful to say, but hear me out. Exactly how many butterflies should be in your stomach before you push live? Or maybe how excited or scared should you be before you launch your first Facebook challenge? There's not really a right answer that applies across the board to everyone. But what researchers have found is that you have an optimal level for peak performance, your individual zone of optimal functioning. Some people perform better at higher levels of arousal than others. And the same person may need different levels of excitement and arousal in various contexts. But the key is being able to regulate it yourself, having simple tools in your toolbox. So if you know that, hey, I need to be excited, but whoa, not that excited, I'm going to go through some breathing techniques to calm myself down, or I'm going to go for a run to get out the jitters, and then I'm going to go live. Again, don't put it off too much, but these are some things that you can do to regulate your own emotions to help you perform at your peak. And then let's talk about your ability for attentional control. I believe this is another mental skill that will help you make it or break it as an entrepreneur. To perform well and to do well in your business, you need to focus on the right things. But what are the right things? Now, if you haven't seen this video where I talk about how to consistently hit 5K months, I highly recommend checking it out because I'm going to go over what some of those right things are to focus on. Another video that you can check out is this 80-20 one where I talk about the 80-20 rule. Highly recommend it. Love it. They'll help you figure out what the right things are. But again, when we talk about attentional control, it's really in the moment, being able to set everything else aside, right? To compartmentalize and focus on the task at hand to do your best job at it. Now, again, if we look at the exercise example, I know that when I go on a run, if I focus too hard on my running form, my form actually gets worse at times. But at the same point in time, you don't want to totally check out. Because when I'm doing a long distance run, like last year I did this volcanic 25K and we ran up Mount St. Helens and it was awesome. But at the same point in time, I needed to be able to check in with myself as I was doing it to see, hey, like, how are my legs doing? How is my breathing? How am I feeling? Do I need to take a walk for a moment to like catch up so I can make it 10 miles from now. So in other words, you need to be able to adjust your focus depending on your environment and your context and filter out everything else that could be distracting you. I know when I film my YouTube videos, a lot of times my dogs are at my feet and one might be trying to hump another, or in this video, you're going to see Marathon in the background and she's going crazy. But I have this innate ability to really focus in on the camera and talking to you with what needs to be said. And so I would encourage you, how can you work on improving your attention to what matters most? And then the mental skill that really is going to help you make it or break it as an entrepreneur are your interpersonal communication skills. This can be with teammates, this can be with clients, and with prospects. Your ability to communicate and realize that communication is truly a two-way street. I talk about this all the time with my members in the Parisi pack. If you want to see a sneak peek of the pack, check out this video. But communication is a two-way street, and it's the ability to listen. So someone truly feels heard. So they don't feel that they're being sold to, but so you're listening to them and taking in. It's the idea of being able to ask the right questions, not just asking questions, and then asking those follow-up questions that are really going to help you understand the person and the fears behind what they're saying, not just what they're saying, because then you can address those fears. And so that is another mental skill that you truly need as an entrepreneur to help you make it or break it. Now, I want you to go to stephanieparisi.com right now to check out how I can help you in your business and what you may need when it comes to improving your mindset. Also, check out this video. I talk about how to grow your mindset and how a pencil has helped me do that. The mental skills that are going to help you make it or break it as an entrepreneur are motivation, confidence, resilience, self-awareness, stress management, emotion and arousal regulation, attention control, and interpersonal communication. Put all of these together and work on developing these skill sets. As always, I'm here to help you win in business, whether you're online or offline. Now, check out either of these two videos that are popping up on the screen. They're here to help you win in your business. And I'll be back next week with another new video.